the regular meeting of the Otero County Commissioners to order. We have the public comment, limit of 3 minutes. Does anybody have public comment? Hearing none, I'll move to the consent agenda. Any questions on the consent agenda?
This is
Hearing
good.
none, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. No old business. Under new business, a resolution 2022-08 authorizing execution of certificates of participation for the funding of a new detention center and sheriff's administrative offices. Amy, if you would.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So what I'd like to do is introduce the resolution to you, and then Mr. Alan Metzloff has joined us. He's the managing director of Stiefel. I always want to say Stifle because I'm a horse person, but I think he'd rather I say Stiefel, Public Finance, to answer any questions and probably fill in the gaps of everything that I messed up or missed. So. Resolution 22-9, excuse me, there was an error, it looks like, on the agenda because we are on 9 now.
Yeah.
What I'm asking for is approval to authorize the board to sign certificates of participation to fund the new detention center and sheriff administration office. What the resolution says in a nutshell is it authorizes you guys to go ahead and approve that and sign it up to $15.5 million and up to an interest rate of 4.75%. How this will work is there'll be an annual payment, and that payment can be up to, excuse me, I had it highlighted on my portion up above, $990,000 per year. An important thing to note, though, as we talk about that, is currently in the 2023-22 budget, excuse me, we have $1 million line item to house prisoners in other counties. And once we have our own detention center, that line item then will be moved over to pay for this annual payment. So it sounds scary, but the money is there, and currently we're sending it to other places. And we need to keep the money here in Otero County and provide jobs and do a good job doing it, housing our own inmates. So with that said, if you don't mind, if Alan can have the floor.
Perfectly fine with me.
Yes.
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Sure.
Well, I think that was a good summary. So this is just to remind everybody, financing is for the sheriff's office and detention. We talked about that. The numbers that are in the resolution are higher than we think the current market is, but we want to provide some room in case market conditions change. One of the reasons that the principal amount went up a little bit is we assume there's a reserve fund. It's 1 year's payment that we set aside. And in our numbers that we provided to the county, we assume that's through what's called a surety policy with an insurance company. But just in case we don't get that, we have that extra money in there. That money would be set aside and would be invested. So, it wouldn't be like a total cost to the county. It would just be money that's set aside and invested. So that's the reason why that number is a bit higher. And then this resolution is the single action that the county commissioners would take to approve this financing. It also refers to other financing documents in the resolution. This resolution does not obligate the county to do the financing, it just authorizes. So if something changes, if somebody walked in after this meeting and handed you $15 million, you don't have to borrow the money. So this is just authorizing, and the schedule is that we have a fall with Standard & Poor's tomorrow about the rating on the certificates. And then that'll take a couple weeks. And then after Labor Day, we should be ready to start marketing the certificates and then sell them, lock in the interest rates, and then close by the end of September. The plan is to use the current courthouse as the leased property, so we don't have to worry about construction risk on the jail and sheriff's office. I think that's about it. That's in essence what we're thinking about or discussing today.
Okay. Are there any questions? You have anything more, Amy?
I don't think so. Be happy to explain it in more in layman terms later if anybody would like to, but I'll do my best anyway.
Okay. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resolution 2022-09, authorizing execution of certificates of participation for the funding of a new detention center and sheriff's administration offices.
And I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Finally,
Yes.
Sean said he was coming just to clap.
thank you, Alan, for helping us with this project.
Yes.
You, and we look forward to our discussion tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have the Otero County Fire Restrictions. Danny Chavez, Emergency Manager.
Good afternoon.
How's it going?
It's going good. So, with the recent rains and, outlook on our weather forecast, the sheriff and the fire chiefs in the county have had discussions, and we feel that we're ready to ask you to lift the fire ban.
Okay. Any questions?
Nope, sounds like a good deal.
I think so,
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, short and simple today.
yeah. That was good.
Sounds good.
Glad to hear that.
Well, with nothing else, I would entertain a motion then.
I move to lift the Otero County fire restrictions.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And Sheriff.
Yeah, sure. Departmental reports. Aren't we gonna do our sales tax first?
Sure.
Why don't you do that?
7A, is that where you're at?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, perfect. Scared me for a second, I thought you had a different agenda. So let's talk about sales tax. This sales tax was received in July, but what we're gonna talk about is June's. And I forgot my glasses upstairs, I bet somebody borrowed them from my desk. But anyway, for June of 2022, the county collected $216,000. That is above budget, so that's great news. Now for the little less than great news is if we compare June of last year to June of this year, it is $22,000 less. So there was a drop in comparing last year, which equals about 9.46%. Cumulatively so far this year, if we compare January through June, we are 1.99% less than last year. Good news though, like I said, we're still meeting budget, so that's great. The second page is the chart that kind of tells the story as well. The yellow line is 2022. You'll see that decrease that we saw in June. But I'd like to point out that if you look at the trends of the years previous, we always have kind of a decrease in June. The 2020 line, which is the dark line, mountain line up there, is an unusual year. That was when everybody's rebounding from COVID and we had some checks coming in from the government, and once again, that internet sales tax really helped improve our bottom line. So, black straight line is the budget annualized, so you'll see that that yellow line continues to be above it. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Now departmental reports. Sheriff, you got anything?
Oh, let's see. Well, we're all very happy that the fair is over. Kind of a heavy lift for all of us in law enforcement, just because all agencies are kind of short-staffed right now. So pleased that that's over. On the patrol side, our guys are busy as ever. We did have some success in solving some burglaries. Warrant affidavit went out this morning to the court, so we're pretty pleased about that. And we imagine these people are connected to a number of other burglaries throughout the county. It will take some time to get some forensic evidence and back that up. Later this afternoon, I'll put out some additional information on the overdose that we had in the facility, or what I believe was an overdose, but the death we had in our jail. Still awaiting toxicology to confirm. It may take up to 60 days to get those results, but once we get those, I'll get them from our coroner, Mr. Fowler, and put some additional information out about that. And aside from that, I don't have much more.
Excellent, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Danny, you got anything else?
No, it's been real busy with training. A lot of trainings and seminars. I'm going to a conference, first week of September. This is kind of the time of the year that we're able to get a lot of training done and accomplished.
Very good, thank you. Lynn?
Not much going on in our office. Shannon and I went to conference last week, and it was pretty good. It got some changes coming, but nothing completely concrete yet to talk about, other than the Park Pass one that's coming out. With that one, people will be automatically enrolled in a Park Pass amount, and I believe it's gonna be like $29 per person vehicle. They can opt out of it, but they have to do it at point of purchase.
So, let me get this straight. If you don't opt out, you automatically buy a Parks Pass
Yes,
for Colorado Parks.
yes.
Is it
And
easy to
actually,
opt
it'll
out?
be a lot cheaper because it's like $29 with us. That might change a little bit, but at this point, that's what they're talking about. And I think if you get them normally, they're like $80 or something like that. So it would be cheaper, but we're gonna have to do make sure that we're telling people at the counter, because if they go over the if they decide they don't want it same day, we can refund it out. If it goes past that, then they have to do it through Park and Rec, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun one to learn.
So is there any, I guess, information that's going out to
Yes,
folks in the mail?
they're starting, I don't know if the state's gonna be doing that or not, cause it's a state-sponsored program, so I'm not sure if they, but we have posters, and we have like little cards that we can give people where they can come in and ask for them at our office now, if they want to. We have them in office now. So, it's just cause I don't believe it goes into effect until January 23. But they're just starting to get us ready for it, because it's gonna be,
Yeah, you're gonna
It's
be,
gonna be-
putting up your dukes a lot,
yeah,
cause there's a lot of people
it's
who
gonna be a
don't
fun
want a
one.
Parks Pass.
That was a bill last year. It was part of a bill. I remember, but I can't remember what it was. It was that you have to opt out, not
Right.
opt in.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when they start getting their renewal cards, it'll automatically have that amount on there. So they can either, not pay it when they send it. If they send it in through the mail, they just have to deduct that $29 off. Or when they come in, we will ask them, do you want it or not? And it's supposed to know whether you've done it on one vehicle or not. Not sure how that's gonna work, but that's what they keep talking about, so we'll see how that works.
Are they gonna give you an extra sticker, or how are the parts?
You know, I honestly don't know yet what they're planning on doing there.
And you said it's per vehicle, right?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry?
what my.
Per vehicle, right?
Yes.
So if you have 5 vehicles, you got 29 on each vehicle.
That's the way, well,
Yeah,
no,
that's-
the way they are talking now, it could change before they get it, everything said and done, but the way I was understanding when they were talking about it at conference was, the system's supposed to know if you've already paid one on one of the vehicles, you're not supposed to have to pay for every single vehicle. I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna work.
Well, the way it is
Yeah.
now, you do have to pay for every single vehicle.
That's the way I understand it.
But it's
yeah.
at a discounted rate
Right.
for your second vehicle.
Yeah. I don't know at this point if they're saying no, but I don't know how they're gonna do that.
This
They're
is-
So-
saying the system will know, but I
It'd
don't
be
know.
difficult.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to say how they're gonna do that, because when they changed the system out, when we had C-Stars, you know, we had county specific. Now we do not, so, with drives, it's state specific, so I'm not real sure how they're planning on doing that at this point. They're still working on stuff.
Have you seen the renewals that go out in the mail? Have you seen where, does it have the information on there if you don't want the parks pass, deduct $29?
With the renewals, I don't know how the state's gonna do that yet.
It's gonna
They
raise a
haven't
whole
really
lot of extra money.
Discussed that a whole lot, just that
It's expected to
It's-
raise $54 million
Yeah,
a year for
sure.
the parks.
I think it's gonna be primarily us that tells people that.
People are not going to
They
be
have the
happy.
option
They're going to
to opt
send you a
out.
bill?
No, when you get your license plates renewal,
Oh, yeah.
they're automatically gonna charge you for that $29 unless you tell them you don't want it.
Let you opt out.
You just don't pay it.
Yeah,
And this is whether you've ever bought one or not, like you're just automatically sign
Yeah.
up for one
Yeah,
and
every year.
The
Yeah.
extra $29.
Yeah,
It'll be on
automatically.
your bill.
Okay.
Unless you opt out, Betty. You can opt out and then you
yeah.
don't get
they'd have to-
charged.
They'd have to opt out.
Pretty slick.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I watched that bill and they tried very hard to get an amendment that would opt you in, not opt you out. They tried very hard, just for the
Yeah.
record.
Cause it
I
always,
think that would have been better, absolutely.
It was attempted,
It's
I know
like,
I watched it.
try this for 1 month for free and then forget to cancel.
Right, that's exactly.
So anyway,
they love those opt-out things. They do it on their hunting license draws. You have to opt out of certain things if you want to get out of it. If you don't, then they'll just send you a different kind of voucher, a family voucher.
And then, our recount went well, exactly the same as we had before, so we did good.
That's great, that's
Good.
good news.
Very good.
And that's all I got.
Thank you.
How much does it cost per visit if you don't have the
Parks pass?
year-long license?
How much does it cost to enter the park?
Yeah,
It's $10 a day right now. But who knows, that may go up. Probably go
they
down
sign
after
you
next
up,
year.
that'll-
Yeah.
Should.
Yeah.
Free again.
Thank you, Lynn. Amy?
You're welcome.
I don't think I have anything additional. I spent most of my time working on the certificate of participation and of course, budget. So, life's good. Thank you for
Very
asking.
good. John?
Well, actually, I had a pretty busy week with the parades and the fair and everything going on. Also, attended, the board meeting for the, Rosada and also for the Lower Arkansas Conservative District, water. And that's, and I'm sure there's some others I'm leaving out, but it was a pretty good busy 2 weeks.
Rob?
I was like John, had quite a few days at the fair doing different stuff, and we had our meetings with the participation for the funding for the jail. That was an interesting meeting. That was one of the good ones for the couple of weeks, and I just had then regular meetings, Sabria and Sage and all that. They were just regular meetings, so.
Okay. I was on vacation last week, so. Or the week before, I don't know, one of them. I have nothing to add. Any other business, Amy?
No, sir, sorry, I was reading.
No other business, we're adjourned. Thank you all for coming.